Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another weekly forecast. And before we get started, I'm going to quickly run through the VIP results and quickly talk about some of the trades we did send out on Friday for NFP. So as you can see, we've got a lot more greens this week, so it's actually amazing week that we ended up catching all these trades. And it is the incorporation of US30, which also helped as well boost the results because sometimes gold may play games, may play around, and the best thing to do is either to switch to another pair. You shouldn't do this all the time, but if you are very comfortable with another pair, it's good to do that as well. So we noticed at the start of the week, gold was sort of consolidating. It was accumulating for a move towards NFP. And we ended up switching towards US30, and US30 was still creating some great moves for us. As you can see on Monday, we had a nice 2%, and then we added a 0.5%, which actually cancelled out by the loss on gold here, but didn't really matter because once we got to Friday, we ended up catching a decent amount of trades here with a lucky NFP trade, which I won't be doing again. But it's one of those ones, as you can see here, NFP trading when you get slipped in your favor, but the chart was frozen for 5 minutes. So this is the thing. My limit was around here. I got slipped. The limit got opened at 52, and then it went towards our take profit, which I had set, which wasn't removed, at 69. So it was around about 168 pips, 169 pips here. But at this whole move, my chart was frozen, so I couldn't see the trade, couldn't see how much loss the trade was. So yeah, never doing that one again. But I thought I might as well, but it was a little mistake, but worked it in my favor. So, and we ended up sending a US30 setup as well. I was expecting price to drop into this 1 hour fair value gap here after NFP or with NFP, because this was sent beforehand. And then what ended up happening is price did tap into this area, and we had a lovely rejection up around about 100 points. So that would have been a 1-to-1 based on your stop loss as well. So we ended up getting a nice reaction there. However, after New York session open, price did end up dropping back down again into that level to collect the liquidity of the sellers, of the buyers that were entering here. But if you had entered again in this zone, which we did, I did send out another feel free to enter again, because the setup looked valid, and then price ended up going back up, retraced, and then pushed up towards those NFP highs, which was the main target for the day there. So that was a fantastic trade. As you can see, 170 points, and that's what got us that 2% on that Friday, that extra 2%. So that's pretty much the trades that we ended up sending out. Let's go into the chart and have a quick look at what's going on here. So let's just make this full screen, make that full screen here. Right, so our initial analysis on gold was to see it price retrace this area here. So we had a big bearish candle here. I was expecting for price to tap into this area and then push back down. What told us to change our mind was the price action leading up to it. So the fact that we ended up getting, if I go into the 4 hour time frame and then look at this whole consolidation, this is the start of the week. As you can see from here, there's a Monday. That's where the week started. Price was sort of consolidating. When we usually get this, we usually get one of two moves. Okay, I'm going to quickly draw it out here. So you tend to sort of get your accumulation, right? And then you get a manipulation where price ends up moving the other way, and then you end up getting a distribution where price ends up continuing in the direction it wanted to go. There's been many examples of this. So if I move this down here, you can see, well, it's not the most accurate. Let me just move it across a little. There's an example here where price manipulated up to clean up all of this, and then price ended up going into the desired direction it wanted to go. You can then move this around here. Here's another example. You have accumulation. Price manipulates to fill up or retest a breaker, and the price ends up going the other way. Obviously, in certain scenarios, it's a lot longer. Right? This one may have been around about here. You have your accumulation here. So obviously, you can see that this sort of approach does work. You can see it happening on smaller time frames, but on this time frame here, we ended up getting that. But why did it not go down to the downside here? It was based on Wednesday when price ended up pushing up here. We didn't get any reaction around US session or anything to start showing that price wants to break structure. If I drop down to the 1 hour time frame and look at our structure here, you can see here is your recent swing low here. And in order for us to go bearish, you want to see price push below here, retest, and then continue it lower. But it didn't. Price kept climbing up, climbing up until you ended up filling the imbalance here. And you can see that it stayed around here, and this is where it started to slow down based on the structure on the left. And then price decided to accumulate again. We had another sort of accumulation phase, or this is a reaccumulation here, where price sort of moved sideways again, which is telling me that price definitely wants to take out this high here. And that was my target for NFP. You can see that price failed to take it out, and then price sort of just chopped around here around about London session. So that was my main target at 69, as I explained on the NFP trade at the start of the video that I got slipped out on. You can see since it's reaccumulated, price is now an NFP. What NFP did is that price immediately shut down, took out the daily low. This is a very bullish sign. The fact that it's collected the liquidity of yesterday's low, so it took out all the early buyers. I ended up getting slipped right here, which is a bonus because I ended up getting in at the daily low here, and then price immediately went straight up towards 69. So if you saw this move and were monitoring without the limit and monitoring the immediate open, and you saw price ended up pushing down, and the fact that it left 69 intact, it didn't take that out, because the market would have immediately started pushing down around about here, right? You could have waited for some sort of rejection, entered a buy, SL below the previous low, and then just waited and targeted that 69 area, because that would have been the main target for today. Price is taken at the daily low. This would have been optimal entry. But again, I was expecting a price to immediately switch up because I was looking for the bearish bias for the day. As I sent on the free channel, you may have noticed that I was looking for price to immediately push up here, then start making a bearish move back down to retrace all of this. But we didn't get that. We ended up getting the opposite, where price pushed down first. If price pushed down first, this would be a very bullish sign. And as you can see, what happened after NFP, price kept climbing up and went from this high and then took out this high. And the fact that it's done that now, if I zoom out on the 4 hour time frame, where does that lead us? That leads us into a complete structure break where price would like to start targeting this level now. So that's going to be my key level to target going into next week, the week after, however long it wants to take. But this is where it wants to go at the moment. If I look at the daily time frame, you'll be able to see that although price is cleaning up in this daily fair value gap we have here, let me mark it up. Daily FEG, there we go. Although price is coming back up to fill this, we want to see what price action does. We have a swing low here and we have a swing low here. If price wants to immediately start falling down and start breaking these areas, then yes, you can say that price will want to turn around. It's very hard to explain on a weekly forecast, and I explain this time and time again. If you're new here, don't forget, you want to see what happens with price as it plays out. If I'm expecting price to go and attack the highs here, I don't want to see this sort of price action. I don't want to see price start to push down and then retrace, fail to push higher and come back down, because this would be ultimately pretty much a large extended retracement for price to end up moving down like it's doing so there. But what you want to see is you want to see price hold at certain levels. So you could see price pull back towards this gap here before this whole drive up. Here's the accumulation that I was talking about, the sideways movement at the start of the week. If you see price push back down here, you want to see price showing willingness that it wants to be bullish again and keep breaking highs. Once you keep seeing that, you can see price continue and keep grinding towards that all-time high that we have here for price to break up. So again, if you did enjoy that sort of breakdown and you want to get some more of that and you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and also comment on other things you want me to look at, other things you want me to explain if you didn't understand from this video, because this is just a forecast video / breakdown as well. But pretty much price is now broken these highs here. What I want to see is I would like to see what price does based on the NFP low that is created here. We've got some structure that we've ended up creating, so price initially could give us a retrace here, and we could potentially wait for some sort of break of structure to point us bullish again, and that will be another way to keep targeting the highs. Right now price is very high up in the range. We want to see price push back below that 50% level into that discount. So based on NFP here, if I just bring out NFP, bring out the fib, start drawing that up, you want to see price back below into this area here, which will be a good area to start buying if price wants to do that. That will be an area. If price wants to continue going up at the start of the week, you want to wait for some more structure. If it wants to then do that later, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday sort of thing, then you could get that move. Let me have a look at the quick economic events. We have Fed Chair Powell testimony on Tuesday, and then we got a speech on Wednesday, and then we have good old CPI on Thursday, and then Friday would be PPI. So Thursday, Friday are going to be your big days. Tuesday, Wednesday will be days where price will get manipulated for CPI. So you want to see what happens and where price is. If price is sitting around about down here for CPI, I'll be expecting some bullish moves depending obviously on price action for price to push all the way back up. Why? Because price is now heavily into a discount area based on this overall structure. If you look at this whole sort of impulsive move that we've had up, you can potentially place a fib from this low to this high. You can see that price starts dropping into this area here. This will be your sort of reversal area from there. So that's enough sort of dwelling on here. This price action is looking very bullish at the moment. We want to see what happens on Monday. I'll probably leave Monday to see what sort of price action we get during Tokyo London session. Do we get that reaccumulation here? If we do, we probably could get something like this with London sort of pushing down, and then that could give a New York bullish setup. That would be very clean for us to continue this sort of move. That's all for the gold setup, but I wouldn't mind talking a bit about US30 here since we've started to trade it. And again, if you stayed this long in this video, yeah, well done, you get some extra analysis here on US30. Leave a like if you want more of this stuff, and don't forget to comment on other pairs you want me to look at briefly. But the main pairs I currently trade is gold and US30, and as you can see based on the results, hey, that's all that works for us, man. Anyway, jumping straight into this, you can see on the, if we go to the daily time frame, you can see that at the moment price is now it's sort of wedging, right? Obviously we don't use this often, but if I just bring this trend line here, you can see that price is starting to like squeeze. Yeah, so this is a very key area now. We either could get explosion up or could get the explosion down. At the moment, based on current structure that we're getting on a lower time frame, you can see that price is also doing that again here on the 4-hour time frame. Price has now moved down from this area, and now it's just been chopping all over the place. And this is where we've been catching our moves on a day-to-day basis. From the start of the week, we ended up seeing that price wanted to push down from here because it took out the previous high. As you can see there, price ended up pushing down. We ended up getting that move. Then what did price do? Immediately push all the way back up, and this is what we were looking for on Friday, for price to take out all of the lows, tap into this area, and then get us a push up. It wasn't the cleanest move, of course. It's not like this straight up, straight down. It was sort of manipulated where price was taking out the lows until it was ready, and then price took out the highs. The fact that it's done that, and we also have these relatively equal highs here as well, gives me an indication that price may want to continue pushing up towards that area there. So obviously it's not the best drawing arrow here, so I'm expecting for price to continue grinding up to take out this liquidity here. The main target for me will be this buy side liquidity up here. So whether it wants to give us a drop to retrace and then give us some bullish sort of structure for price to sort of move back up, that will be key. The main area I'm watching is this 1 hour fair value gap. If price starts to close below this area here, then price will likely turn around and start attacking these lows here and start moving towards the downside. But for now, you can see that price is starting to move up. It's moved down here. Every high has been taken out. High has been taken out. These are still intact, so I'm expecting those to be taken out. And then any retracement we get, you'll expect to target this main buy side liquidity for now. And once we start hitting that, then you can start saying that on the higher time frame, price will likely want to start pushing all the way back up towards these swing highs here, and then finally the main high, and that could be a potential breakout. I'm not sure if we'll get that with CPI or the news, but definitely something to look into and start watching, because US30 is a very good pair to trade at times where gold doesn't want to move. And a example of that is this sort of move we ended up having here. Now I'm going to mark this with a box. I want you guys to go into the chart and look at it yourself, because you can see that this day on Thursday was Independence Day. So how come the market climbed all the way up, took out the prior day high, which was here, and then at New York session price dropped all the way back down? This was a clean trade. A lot of members and were watching this, and I know Michael also took this trade, if you follow Michael as well, and that was a very fantastic trade, and this was on a holiday. So you can see that USD still has that movement even on a holiday. So I think that's pretty much it for today. I'll leave it there. We had US30 analyzed, we had gold analyzed. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and don't forget to comment. Thank you. It's been a Waste FX. Peace out.